I like to share what's been happening for me in the last few years, just because it's been a really interesting ride. And I just gave a talk for the third time at the DNX conference that Marcus and Feli organized in Berlin. It just happened for the third time a few weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago. This time we started out with like, how many people the first time a year ago was 150?
150, 60, yeah.
Yeah, something like that. I remember when you guys had the idea and we were like, let's, maybe we get 50 people together or something, right? Like, let's sell 50 tickets. So funny to think back. And then eventually they were like, we need more space, we need to sell more tickets. Suddenly we had 170 at the first Digital Nomad conference. And then we had another one in October, and I spoke there again, and now in May, and we had 450 or more even.
500.
Yeah, so it's really fucking crazy. So I'm still in speaking mode, which is why it's easy for me to just tell you a little bit about what's been going on. So yeah, this is my blog. It's all in German, unfortunately, but this has actually been the secret, or one secret to success in my case anyway. I started out with another blog, actually. Which was called The Life of Blue. So maybe a little background story to how it all took off. I always had a pretty nomadic life ever since I was a teenager, and then I lived all over the world and went to different schools and universities around the world, and like traveling and living around the world was always my priority. I never really knew how to make it happen, but I always did. Because when people always ask me, where did you get the money to travel? It's like, it was always my priority, and if you make something a priority, it's just how it is. It usually works out in your favor. So if some people have a goal and they keep on whining, they don't reach it, I'm like, how badly do you want this goal to happen? Because generally it turns out that maybe the pain is not bad enough to actually reach the goal. And then went off, just traveled around the world a lot, and eventually I did go to university actually, so the 3 longest years of my life I spent in Austria, going to university getting my degree in communication media. And then in 2009, after I also got my master's degree in the States and in Austria, I went off on a one-way ticket to India, and then kept on going eastwards and ended up on a little island called the Gili Islands, Gili Triangle, and became a scuba dive instructor, because I felt like I wanted a job that I could take around the world where I could live in beautiful places. And being a scuba dive instructor, me loving diving, and being a scuba dive instructor, that got really close to the perfect life, right? And so that was great. Spent 6 months or something living on this tiny island, and then went on to Australia, worked on the Great Barrier Reef, and lived in Sydney for a while, and that was all good, it was great. Ended up going back to Asia with my partner at the time, and then we decided to move to Germany, to Berlin for a year. And this is when things got really interesting. So I thought, I had it all figured out. I'm a scuba dive instructor, I can live anywhere. And then I came to Berlin and I was like, shit, what am I going to do? I need to make some money. It's a bit boring to be a dive instructor in a lake. So I'm going to have to get my first grown-up job. So I did, but I'd been out of university for about 2 years. So not the best prerequisite to go job hunting. Ended up getting a traineeship in PR, which I didn't really know what to do with a degree in communications. And I signed a contract for 12 months to do this traineeship, and I was like, yeah, I can do 12 months. I mean, come on. Other people do this for 60 years. I can do this for 1 year. Signed the contract, and then what have I done? Yeah, so it took maybe about a month or so, maybe even less than that, to realize that this was shit. Like, I can't sit in an office, on an office chair. I could feel the chains locking me to the desk, and having to ask my boss to have a day off and things like that. Like, the whole system just totally didn't make sense to me. And this whole time, as the excitement of having a proper job wore off, and my parents were really happy, finally, finally, she's got a job, she's in Germany, yes. And then, and then it just all became very clear that I was really, really unhappy. I'd have a lot of back pain, I'd get a lot of colds, frequently, like every few weeks, I would feel horrible. I'd have a lot of fights with my partner. I was feeling depressed after, a couple of months in the job. And it wasn't the job itself, and it wasn't even my colleagues or my bosses. It was a small startup for internet PR, like online business PR. So it was actually relatively interesting and a good environment. And yet, I was just so unhappy, and so the pain got worse and worse and worse. The pain of struggling to spend 8 hours a day in an office. And then I remember it was August 2011, and I was surfing the web during my job, and came across some blogs, like probably Chris Gillibo was one of the first one, The Art of Nonconformity, who also wrote books on that, and the $100 Startup. What else? Sean Ogle, Location 180, like Cody McKibben, Thrilling Heroics, who's now actually a pretty good friend of mine, which is ironic, like it's funny how these things work. Tropical MBA, Dan Andrews, who then were heroes, and in a couple of weeks they're having another conference in Barcelona where I'm also giving a workshop. So it's just funny where I started out being this tiny, small, having no clue what I was going to do with my life, ending up rubbing elbows with the big dudes. And so yeah, did a lot of research. Oh yeah, I guess the Tim Ferriss and 4 Hour Work Week, maybe, I hope most of you guys read it too. That was a big starting point. I remember walking to and from work, listening to the audio version of it. It was a cracked version. It was really horrible quality, but I didn't want to afford the $11.99 book or something on Amazon. And I remember printing off the PDF file and having 300 pages in my backpack and stuff. Yeah, so so I was like, awesome. I want to work location independent. I want to be a digital nomad, and I want to build my own online business. And so that was in August 2011. I had started the job in June, and I started reading everything there was, like literally every free ebook. I tried to focus on things that were free because I didn't have a lot of money. I made like 1,400 euros a month before tax. So, and yeah, just read everything and tried to figure out how to implement all these things that I read and build my own online business. Or actually, no, first step was to actually figure out what I wanted to do, right? What are my passions? How do I want my life to look like? What's my perfect day? How do I want to live my life? Like, how would I, if money was not an issue, how would I design my life? How would I design my everyday life? And then, so that went on. And in November 2011, you can't see the alive off, I don't know why. Anyway, it actually looks proper. It says Alive of Blue. This blog I launched in November 2011. It's still online because it was my baby when I started it. I put my heart and soul into it. I put my heart and soul into everything I do, but this one was really, it came from the very bottom. And I love, this is when I really got into blogging, because I knew because I started reading blogs, and I loved how people figured out their message and their vision and how they wanted to change people's lives, and then they started writing about it and really helping people and helping me. And so, I started to write about minimalism and living an unconventional life, and my journey as a digital nomad and how I was going to do this. So I actually really like this post. How to test if you love what you do. Because it's a very simple question. I read it the other day. I went actually through the archive in this blog, and just to see what I was writing back then. Anyway, it's going to take a while. So I started the blog, and I was still having the job. I built the blog as I was having my 9 to 5, and it was so much fun, and I loved it. I did everything from the logo. I learned how to do WordPress. I learned how to write a blog post, and I knew shit before. I learned what should be in the sidebar and how to send a newsletter and stuff like that. It was all out there for free. No one can tell me that I don't know how to do shit because it's all out there. So yeah, did that, and then started to prepare. So I was like, okay, I don't have a lot of skills. Coming from a few months working in a PR agency, I knew how to write a press release. I knew how to set up WordPress now. I knew how to manage a Facebook account for a client. English was really good because I've been going to English-speaking schools and universities and stuff. What else? So I just gathered all my skills, and I bought the domain conniebisarski.com, put all my skills in there and my services, and then on the 1st of February 2012, I jumped, and wow, there was being location dependent and a freelancing entrepreneur with a blog that wasn't making any money. So, and in the beginning I knew I wanted to make 1,000 euros, because with 1,000 euros I can live anywhere I wanted to live. I can live in Bangkok, I can live in Bali, I can live in Berlin. So I wanted 1,000 euros after tax. I'm happy. So I went out and tried to get as many freelance jobs, whatever it was. Translations, doing Facebook channels, writing online press releases, writing blog posts, putting up WordPress pages, just anything. And as I said, I had no clue what I was doing. I was literally faking it till I was making it. But the whole time I knew I wanted to be a professional blogger. I wanted to make money off my blog. So I knew the whole time that freelancing was just a step to where I actually wanted to get. I was always pretty fascinated by the concept of passive income, which sounds pretty amazing, and I was really skeptical about it in the beginning. I was like, well, fuck, this whole how to make money online stuff, and it's all scams and stuff like that. And being German, we're even more critical and skeptical. So, and then I realized, though, man, no, there's actually people doing this, and they're genuine about it, and there are genuine ways to make money online. You don't have to be an asshole about it. You don't have to just annoy people with it. There are good ways to generate passive income. So this is what I was looking at. No. The wine definitely helps with the cold, I find. Yeah. Is this interesting so far? Yeah, is that okay? Yeah. You wouldn't say it otherwise anyway, right? I'm just gonna keep talking. I don't know, no one told me a time limit, so I'm just gonna talk until we're finished, I guess.
Don't do it like on the GMX.
They gave me, 30 minutes? I took 60, right?
Yeah, somehow.
Okay, I'll try to tell you the outline of the story and how I built Planet Backpack from that point on, and then hopefully there's time for you guys to also ask questions, because that might be even more interesting. Okay, so had a life with Blue, was really proud of that, was doing my freelance business. Didn't have a lot of money. I think I had like 3,000 euros as when I quit the job. So I knew, okay, I could live maybe 6 months in a place like Chiang Mai, Thailand or something, before I would run out of money. And then a friend of mine, so internet obviously not working, a friend of mine then, who was just starting out his digital nomad career and about to go up to Southeast Asia for the first time, and he was German. And I remember Skyping with him, and he said to me, Connie, I've been doing my research, and he's very specific about doing his research and preparing for travels and things like that. So Connie, so I've been doing my research, and I've been doing a lot of research online and going through all the websites there are, and he's very thorough. And he said, I've been doing most of my research in English with English websites and English blogs. There's hardly anything in German. It's all shit. So I did all my research about the possibilities and the potentials there are for a good travel blog, and I came to the conclusion that you should do a travel blog for backpackers. And I was like, yeah, I'm not interested to become a travel blogger. Thanks very much, And but he didn't, because I had my life with Blue. It was going really well. It was growing. I already had a few thousand readers after a few months. I was wanting to focus on that. And then, but he wouldn't let it go, and he said, Connie, look, this is how you can make money. This is how affiliate marketing would work. This is what you could do then, and this is how you could grow it. Like he was all about SEO and all that sort of stuff. And so, he showed me all this, and I, didn't really have that much of a clue, but decided to just give it a try. I was like, okay, well, if I give this a try, then I'm gonna do it properly. I'm not gonna fuck around. I'm gonna turn this into a proper business. And like to this day, I'm so grateful for this friend of mine because without him, I wouldn't be doing this. So I went out, looked for a domain, and luckily something like Planet Backpack was still available, and started a blog for backpackers. And there really wasn't anything out there, so this is why I'm saying your language can really be a niche in itself. A lot of people come up to me and they say, should I start a blog in English or in German or whatever language? And I'm just like, stick to your own language. Like the blogging market, the blogging landscape in English, like it's pretty full already, like it's pretty saturated. There's some awesome stuff out there. I do believe there's always room for more amazing stuff and for really, really cool blogs and everything, but it's so much harder to push through the noise and to really make a difference, and it's harder to network, I find. Because I have the direct comparison basically with the Life of Blue, trying to connect with the international blogging community in that niche, and then with the travel bloggers in Germany, and it was really easy. So definitely, I find stick to your own language. I know it kind of sucks because a lot of you guys won't be able to read my blog and everything that I produce on there. But in the end, I don't need to change everyone's lives around the world. Sometimes it's just enough to stick to your own country. This is how it basically looked most of the time. But it worked, I mean, in the end, it's not just about the look and the design. It's mostly about the content. So I launched this about 3 years ago, and I didn't just put it out there and I didn't just put it online. I launched it. For example, I had my launch post. I wrote to the few professional bloggers that were already out there in Germany. I wrote to them and I said, hey, I'm doing a roundup post, and I'd like to have your opinion about your top 3 travel tips or something, something super simple. And so they wrote back to me, and I compiled a blog post with their answers, and that was my launch post, which meant on the day of my launch, I would then ask them or tell them, hey, look, my post is online, my blog is online, if you don't mind sharing it, that would be amazing, but don't feel obliged to do it. And they did. So I already started building connections before I actually launched the blog. And from day one, I had traffic on my website because I was getting the help and support of the other bloggers that were out there. So I did really prepare. I already had like 5 or 6 blog posts online. I hate it when you get to a new blog and all they have is the welcome post or maybe one more post or something. And then I just tried to write content that was super fucking helpful. So that was my main thing and my main goal from the very beginning. I wanted to be as helpful as possible. I figured out what the problem of my target group were. For one, I needed to figure out who I was actually targeting, who was my ideal reader. So I'm not like right now, Planet Backpack has, I don't know, maybe 110,000 readers a month or something. I'm not writing for 110,000 people. That's ridiculous. I'm writing, I was telling you about this yesterday. When I sit on my laptop and I write a blog post, I imagine my one ideal reader, and it's a female, she's sitting across from me, and this is who I write to. It's almost like I'm writing a letter to someone. Because for one, it lets me write really personal. So I'm just writing to this one person, but also I know exactly what that person needs, and I know exactly her problems. And a lot of people there are like, yeah, but what about all these other people that I want to reach, Because I hate it when people are like, yeah, my target group, they're between 20 and 55. And I'm like, yeah, fuck that. Give me a 5-year bracket. Because someone who's 20 has way different needs and desires, even though they might all be backpacking, than someone who's 55. They have this super different disposable income. Someone who's 20, they're at university, they have no money. Someone who's 55, they might already have a career, they might have saved up money, all these things. Very, very different. So right now, I write for people that are, basically I write for someone like me. Someone who's between 30 and 35. Anyway. So this is how it started out. I was very clear on who I'm writing for. I was very clear on what problems I wanted to solve. I wanted to help people travel around the world. I wanted to help them solve the problem of not having enough money, of thinking I don't have enough time, I don't know how to plan my trip, I'm scared of traveling alone. Like, I just made a list of every single problem that every single newbie backpacker has, you know. So that was the beginning. Now the question was, how did it actually become so popular? So for one, it was basically one of the first, I don't know, I'd say valuable backpacking blogs out there in Germany at the time. Everything else was more like a diary, you know, how people have their travel blogs and then, oh, this is what I did today, and here's 5 million photos that won't interest you of the same thing, and things like that. And yeah, I had a launch, and then I started about 8 months after I launched, and I, you know, was all about writing about backpacking, which is at the time, which is what I was. I was a backpacking digital nomad. And then I started writing about being a digital nomad and how to work from anywhere and what that looks like. And that was in the beginning of 2013. And once I started writing about that, people were like suddenly like really interested. They're like, what the fuck is she doing? Like, this whole vocation-dependent movement had already been pretty big internationally, and on many other blogs and through Tim Ferriss and whatnot. But in Germany at the time, it was a complete new concept. And so I wrote about it, and suddenly I got all this attention from my readers, but also from journalists and from TV and radio and all this stuff. So I guess one learning from that is that when you start doing something that no one else is doing, something that's a novelty, something that's generally different against the mainstream, which at the time, or generally still is the 9 to 5, you raise awareness and people are really fucking interested, and especially the media is interested. And the media can be a multiplying factor in spreading your message. So that was really important. I said yes to every single interview. Obviously, it's super exciting, you know. Suddenly, people want to know you know, what you do, and they come to where you are and interview you, and you see yourself on TV. And like Feli and Marcus can talk a lot about that too. They've been getting a lot of media attention as well. So that was huge, and I feel like that's has to do in general, which is another point I wanted to make, is really. Do something that no one else is doing. Now, being a digital nomad, it's not a huge deal anymore, but it was at the time, which is good because it means that we've been successful in spreading the message. And now all the journalists, they can talk to all these other people, and I have more time to do other things, which is really awesome. But I feel like a big problem that's out there is like people start blogs and it's just the same shit over and over and over again. There's no proper creativity, there's no, I don't know, it's just the same stuff. And that's something that I find really sad, because people put a lot of energy into building a blog and into writing content and everything, but it's really like there's so many Planet Backpacks out there now. It's just the same thing with someone else's photo on it and a couple of different countries or something, but generally it's the same thing, you know? Or, yeah, I don't know. So I think from the very beginning, I realized I really wanted to do things differently. I always had, for one way or another, always had the urge to be different than everybody else from all the other travel bloggers. And that also meant eventually stop reading other travel blogs. I don't have any other travel blogger in my feed. Haven't had it for a long time. I sometimes peruse and just to see what they're doing, you know, just out of interest. But eventually I stopped caring, I stopped looking, I stopped comparing myself, I stopped interfering my own creativity with someone else, what someone else was doing. It's not, like in the beginning, it's important to learn from other people who are out there. It's important to see what the status quo is. It's important to see who the top 5 bloggers are in my niche. Absolutely. Learn from them, see what they do right, and take what you can to make your own blog successful. And that's where it should stop, because eventually you will start copying, like unconsciously, because you're so influenced by other people's ideas and of how they do things. Do not, like in terms of content as well, like I don't read a whole lot of blogs, I read books. Like I get a lot of my ideas from books. I get a lot of ideas from not spending every day on my laptop. I get most of my ideas from being out there. I get most of my ideas from spending time with people that have no idea about online business or blogging or whatever. Yeah, I think this has been huge. Is to really try and cultivate your own creativity in such a way that it comes from different sources than anyone else's. And so when I also relaunched my blog, so this is, okay, beautiful, awesome, yeah, great. So then I wanted to, look at it at your own desktop. This doesn't look amazing on this screen. I spent a lot of money on redesigning, so I got a web design team on board. I went in, I was in Bali at the time, in April. I got a photographer. We went out for 2 days and we went photo shooting. I got a videographer. We went out and we shot a video that I can show you in a minute. I really wanted to make this new website different from any other travel blog out there. This is my ebook that I wrote about. It's an ebook course really about living and working location independent. And yeah, so this was another, I don't know, maybe another step to really trying to do something different, trying to make my blog look different, trying to, yeah, I don't know, just really take it to the next level. I don't know any other travel blogger, at least not in Germany, who has really professional photos of themselves on their website or has a 2-minute promotional video or something. Like, I just really wanted to take it to an even more professional level. I wanted it to be more than just a blog. Like, my blog is my business. It really sustains my lifestyle and me sitting here. So yeah. Generally, also maybe talking about how I make money. In general, it's mostly through affiliate marketing. So I, for example, have my packing list, this one here, which includes, and some other posts which include a lot of affiliate links to Amazon. However, affiliate marketing really only works when you have a lot of traffic. I try to think how long it took me to make my first 1,000 euros. I think it must have been when I maybe had 30,000 readers on my blog, and that probably took about a year, maybe longer or something. Only through, no, maybe a year and a half, only through Amazon. Then I do a lot of, I promote this travel credit card, which, right here, which I've used since 2008, like, it's a genuine promoter of this credit card. It's in several places around my website. And then, yeah, I have my ebook course, and then I have my business partner, Sebastian, and I, we run an online course together called Blogcamp, where we teach other people how to become professional bloggers. But I would say, like, affiliate marketing is great, it's cool, because, yeah, it is passive income. At the end of the day, you're really only in business when you have your own product. So once we had our online course, once I had my ebook, I felt like I was a true entrepreneur. Everything before that was amateur, really. Like, yeah, doing promotions on my blog, sponsor posts, selling links, doing affiliate marketing. Yeah, it's all fun and games, but I feel like you're only a real true entrepreneur when you have your own products. And yeah, it's awesome when I wake up in the morning and I check PayPal and I sold a few books while I was sleeping. It's probably the best feeling. And getting emails from people telling me how much it helped them and how it, changed their lives and how they built their own online business through my ebook and things like that. I'm now actually looking for people who read and used my ebook course to become a digital nomad themselves, and do interviews with them, video interviews, and publish them, because I really, really want to show people that it works and that people have used my resource to make a difference in their lives. Yeah, it's always been my biggest ambition is to be really genuine and be as helpful as possible and helpful as possible. This ebook itself took me forever to write and I don't know, I felt like I wanted to put every single piece of knowledge into this ebook, and thinking that you could do that and be as perfectionist about it. So yeah, this is how I generally make money. So anyway, this is the new website. And we can maybe, if the internet's good enough, we can try and watch the video. It's in, like, it's not really about what I say. It is about what I say, but it's in German. But it doesn't really matter. It's mostly about also what I want to communicate with pictures. And this was done. I did this in April with a videographer. As I said, we went for 2 days. We went filming around Bali, where I lived for 4 months just now, and just for people to, like, words are great, photos are awesome, but a video is like, that's something else, because you can really, I felt like I really wanted to show what it looks like how my days look like. Like, this is actually pretty much how a day looked like for me in Bali. It's about learning the art to live and work location independent. I get up and I meditate. This is the house I was living at in Bali, pretending to be on the phone and having a conversation. Drinking my lemon water in the mornings, chilling out in the sun, going to vegan restaurants, going to a co-working space called Ubud in Ubud. Hanging out with other awesome entrepreneurs in the co-working space. Driving without a helmet. Going to yoga. Having a massage. Having lots of coffee. And getting lots of haircuts that make my hair look shit in Bali. Yeah, it's a bit of shitty quality on the screen. Hanging out with friends. Obviously working with the view of the ocean. Gotta have that in the video. The W, it's a really posh hotel in Bali. Doing my reading. And having a gin tonic at the end of the day. Anyway, alright. You get the idea, I guess. So yeah, that's fun. So yeah. What else are like key things that I really wanted to tell you guys? Another big thing that really made a difference to my traffic is SEO. It's something that I still get 60 or 70% from Google. Most of that is going to my packing list, is going to how do I find the best backpack, things like that. Yeah, SEO is where it's at if you want to have proper traffic. It's huge. Learn the basics. What else? Yeah, I think another thing that maybe to encapsulate of what I've been talking a lot now is the idea of personal branding. I've made Planet Backpack is not just a blog, it's not just a travel blog. Planet Backpack is me. It's Connie Bizalski, and my face is all over my blog. It's all over my social media. I use Instagram a lot. Instagram doesn't give me any traffic. I use Instagram as personal branding. It's really a behind the scenes insight into my life and who I am. I write about. It's a lot more private in what I write or in the captions to the photos. YouTube, that video, it's personal branding more than anything. I write very personal on my blog, and that took me a while. I write as I speak, so there is a lot of fuck, there's a lot of shit and all these sort of things. Some people don't like it. If they don't, I welcome them to go and read other blogs. But I'm literally, I try to be 150,000% myself in everything that I do that has to do with Planet Backpack. I don't bullshit anyone. I want that people, when they meet me, to say, oh wow, you're just like I thought you might be on the blog or something. That doesn't always work, because obviously I don't always have a great day. Like today I feel really sick, and And this week I haven't felt my best, so I'm sure, you know, this one or the other people, they might have been, oh, what's up with Connie? But generally I try to really reflect my personality with everything I do on the blog and what I write. And that means that I make myself really fucking vulnerable. I do this especially in my newsletter because I feel like it's the most intimate channel that I have. It means that people let me into their inbox, and it means that they're really truly interested in what I have to say. So that means I write about some really personal stuff in my newsletters. I write about heartbreak, I write about fears, or, you know, whatever comes to mind that I deal with, because if I don't write about also the negative stuff, if I don't write about the stuff that makes me vulnerable and that makes me the Connie that I am, because that's a big part of me, is being not amazing and feeling shit and being scared, and it still is. Like, if I can't do that, then it's not me, and I need whatever I do, whatever business I do, whatever blog I write, it needs to be 100% me. And so that's huge for me personally. It took me a while to get there. It's not easy to be this transparent and authentic and to do a soul striptease all the time. But I also feel like that this has really helped me to really connect to my readers on a level that's beyond anything. And I feel like the more deeper I go with my message, the deeper and more honest I am, and the more transparent, the more people can connect with me, and the better the feedback, and the more genuine the feedback. Like, it's mind-blowing. Like, I started doing this properly maybe a year or so ago, and even more so the last few months, and like more and more each blog post, each newsletter, more I try to go deeper, and it's turning into just this amazing experience for me as well. The feedback that I get, the emails, the comments, the just like, wow, yeah. So I feel like I can't go back anymore to being a superficial blogger or just write about 5 tips to do in Tarifa, because it's useless. How am I going to change people's lives? And that has always been huge. I've always wanted to change people's lives. I wanted to have a very clear message, and so I changed from being a budget backpacking blogger to being someone who I want to show people how to live and work location independent, living out of their backpack, because that's something that'll never change. But also, I really want people to experience traveling and being location independent as an experience that can go really, really deep. I don't travel to look at sites. I don't travel to tick off my checking list of things you need to do or see in a place. I travel because I want to have deep experiences. I want to, I don't know, like, I don't even know how to sometimes put it in words, but maybe you get the idea. So anyway, it's really important to have this really clear mission to know exactly how to reach your people, and to keep repeating that. I keep repeating myself over and over again in one way or another in my blog posts, in every single Facebook post or on Instagram. The more you repeat yourself, the more people understand what you do. Don't think everyone reads every single blog post or remembers what you wrote in your last blog post or in your last newsletter. Keep repeating. You need to repeat your message and your philosophy and what you believe in life. Like, it's so important. And this all has to do with personal branding. Another big thing, like, for example, you know, Feli and Marcus or Johannes and I, and like, we're all pretty good friends now. And that's something that has been huge as well, because having this community of other bloggers, of other digital nomads, we support each other, we give each other feedback. This has been huge, and I am super, super grateful that we have this beautiful community. And it is easier with people from your own country, it just is. We keep meeting in different places, and yeah, so that was huge. What else? Yeah, another new message that I have, or not new, it's just something that I incorporated into my brand, is all the hippie topics of yoga meditation and how awesome and sexy it is to meditate. Even Marcus now meditates, you know, he's super proud. And, you know, just living a more mindful life, and to change, because people think of meditation or yogis, you know, like Birkenstock and just people who are just, I don't know. So I want to change that image, you know. I want to show people how awesome it is to sit down and meditate and just shut up for 20 minutes, you know, and how amazing the effects can be, and how it's not just about, you know, working location dependent and designing your life, but having this holistic lifestyle and on all different levels. So yes, your job and what you do and how you make money and where you travel to, but also your health, your wellness, your diet, how important it is to have a healthy body and a healthy mind. and I just sold it here. And how to really, to have this holistic approach to life. And because if one area of your life is shit or it's not working, it has an effect on your other areas of your life. So yes, so that's that. I don't know, I can shut up now and you guys can ask questions. I might maybe have, I can always talk more, literally, there's no end to the well of talking about blogging and online business. What do you guys think? You want to ask questions?
Q&A.
Yeah, cool, awesome. Have I killed you all, or do you actually have any more questions? And please hit me in. Let's wait for someone. Yeah.
Thank you for the talk. Very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I was wondering about your ebook. Do you only sell it on your website, or you also sell it on Amazon or other channels?
Mm-hmm. I only sell it through my website for one. So it's more than just a book in itself. So it's actually more like a package, right? So I have interviews with it. I have bonus materials. There's two packages. One is 57 euros. The other one is 77 euros. I could never charge that on Amazon, right? I might have more reach on Amazon, but since I already have a pretty wide reach on my blog in general, and I use a lot of affiliates, for example, they promote my book, they get 50% off of each sale. So for me personally right now, it's enough to just sell it through my website, through my affiliates. And I feel like I'm more in control of what's happening. And as I said, I wouldn't be able to sell it at that price tag. And I sell it, it's more than just an ebook. I did get a bit of negative feedback in the beginning when I launched it last year. They were like, what? Like, how can you sell an ebook for 57 euros? Are you crazy? But I'm like, yeah, well, this book, like, I will put my hand in the fire. It's gonna, if you do what I say, like, it's gonna change your life. If you're not willing to spend 57 or 77 euros to change your life, then you're not meant to have this. So, goodbye. I'm pretty straightforward. You can only buy through PayPal, for example. I get a lot of people writing me emails saying, I don't want to use PayPal. Is there another way to buy this book? Can I transfer the money into your account? Or blah, blah. I'm like, if you want to be a digital nomad and you don't want to use PayPal, hack off. Like, I'm not interested. Go and read something else.
So, you need to know.
Yeah.
Instead, just up for PayPal, instead people say, oh, I want to attend a conference in Berlin for being a digital nomad, but I don't want to use PayPal. Or some people say, I don't have a Facebook account. I say, okay.
Yeah, sorry.
For you.
So, just being really straightforward about it. So this is the landing page for my ebook. I also did everything myself. Now I try to outsource a bit more because I do have more income to have to outsource, but also it's a time thing. Like, it just really takes so much time to build websites. These are like the two packages. The light package and the hell yeah big package. So yeah. Anything else? I mean digital nomadism or the digital nomad lifestyle, in many ways, yes, for me it is about traveling. Because traveling has always been part of my life, and I couldn't imagine myself living in just one place. Like, it drives me crazy to be tied to one place, so I need to have the freedom to be able to go off to all these different places. Just because, for one, I find it really inspiring to travel for my own creativity. I love meeting other people, new people. I like to be able to live in places that can really fulfill my needs to the utmost degree. So that means, for example, the reason why I just spent 4 months in Bali is once I figured out the things that I need to be happy in a place, I can then look at the world map and see, okay, which place comes close to my needs? And my needs are still relatively simple. I need some sort of internet connection. I would like some vegan, vegetarian infrastructure for eating. I like to have yoga studios around, or I need to do yoga. I also like to be surrounded by other yogis and hippie people and spiritual people. It's a really big part of my life. I like to have a digital nomad community around, like you guys. I like to be in the tropics, somewhere where it's warm, and at best I would like to be by the ocean. So looking at the world map, there's a few places that stick out, and for me that would be Bali, for example, is almost picture perfect. So that makes my life even more livable, maybe, is to then not have just Germany as a destination, but the whole world, to be able to live my life exactly the way that I would like to have it every single day. Yeah, does that answer your question? Okay, cool. Marcus.
Yeah, I just wanted to add what you said at the beginning, not about how many. The secret is finding the niche in your own native language. This is what we both did, Felicia and me, for the German conference. So we had enough self-esteem to set up this conference in Germany, because we said, okay, we can do it in Berlin, we can set up the connections and then see how it evolves and how it grows. And
yeah.
It's not always the best idea to shoot for the stars. Everybody wants to go internationally and wants to do something bigger. But for us too, it worked out really well. Like for you, to start very tiny, very lean, and the target was, like you already said, having 50 people on this little meetup. And I can remember our meetup when you said tight relationships to Johannes, to us, and to you. We were 12 people during the Nomad Lifestyle Germany. We started and we met up in Germany, in Berlin on the 10th. And now we are doing this international conference, Phoenix Global, with sign-up from more than 30 different countries all over the world. So
some of the big names out there are going to be on stage.
It's cool, and I think also Emma did like the Flux project in the Netherlands, and now he starts to go international. So better baking little bagels, I don't know if it fits in English now, it's a German saying, and then try to get bigger and grow and have the proof of concept in your own language, in your own country.
Yeah, definitely start lean. I mean, I don't know, like for me, I think I will stay in the German market for a while to come. I still see a lot of potential in the German market in every way possible. But I think you're totally right. As what you guys were doing with the DNX, just do it on a German level and then go global. I think for me, Planet Backpack and the last 3 years, they were only a stepping stone to something way bigger. I think next year and the year after, they're going to be pretty amazing. It's going to be something completely different. I think this is just a piece of the puzzle. I'm only 32, and there's so many more ideas that I have apart from a travel blog or teaching people how to live and work location dependent. And also just to keep developing yourself, keep learning. Like I never stop. There's so many things I still want to learn, and like right now the rest of the year is mostly just dedicated to my own development, to doing workshops, to going on retreats, to learning more. Because I just don't ever want to stop. I don't ever want to just keep doing what I'm doing. I want to do more. I want to create more amazing things. So start small. I mean, I had no fucking clue what I did back then. Really, so, yeah.
Yeah, I would like to know how your traveling experience changed you as a human being. Well, what happened that you are today what you are.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe you discovered meditation because of rising and I don't know. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, no, good question. I actually discovered meditation through a big heartbreak 3 years ago. So two of the things that I learned most from was definitely traveling and getting my heart broken over and over again. I think those were the two main influences in my life, just because they really change your perspective on life in many ways. So traveling, I feel like, has been ever since, because it's always been part of my life. So I think it's hard to. I don't even know what a life would be like without living in different places and without traveling. It's so ingrained into who I am that I think it just made me extremely open to take risks, to just live day by day without wanting to make plans, without knowing how things are going to turn out. I think a very German thing, and maybe also in Holland or in other countries, we try to first look at all the risks possible and and try to answer every single question we might have about something before then actually taking the step into the unknown. And the unknown is something that's really fucking scary. And running or starting an online business or doing what we're doing is really scary, right? But I feel like traveling itself, because I've traveled a lot by myself around the world, it really teaches you how to just embrace the unknown, really, right? Not knowing what's gonna happen tomorrow or next week, not knowing when you travel to a new country how you're gonna feel like, but embracing also the fear of it, because it's fucking scary sometimes to travel around the world, especially as a solo traveling woman, you know, but also as a guy. And to go out there and to make friends, like how scary is it to make friends sometimes when you feel lonely? Like how do you embrace loneliness when you travel? Just, I don't know, simple things that we're so afraid to talk about actually. And yeah, so that has, I think traveling has really helped me to embrace fears and risks.
So it means right now you have less fear than before?
I still have the same fears, but I don't think the fears ever really go away, but you find a better way to deal with them. And so it's like, for example, I've never bungee jumped, it's something I never need to do, I'm just going to take it as an example. The first time you bungee jump, it's really fucking scary, right? The second time you jump, it's still scary. Third time gets better, fourth time gets better, fifth, you know? And eventually you're not scared anymore. There is still some fear present, and that's what I mean. Like with the fear, the more you tackle it, the more often you go into that fear, you actually step into it. The fear is probably not going to disappear. Maybe it will get smaller, but you will get more comfortable. You get braver, and I think that's what people mean when they talk about being brave. It's like, I'm not brave. I still have the same fears. I still battle loneliness or traveling by myself and you know, in some countries or something. Like there's still the same fears, but the more you do it, the easier it becomes.
Yeah.
That's how I look at it.
Did you have done things that really motivate you to come over your fears and like meeting people and?
I think with fears, it's something that we hardly ever get to discuss with ourselves because we don't really ever talk about it much, which is why I made it a topic on my blog. I do talk about fears because I think, I don't know, I got into it because once you start to realize that what you're scared of is not a weakness, but it's actually something that you can deal with and then grow into a more amazing person. And I think that's my personal real development started about 3 to 4 years ago, as I started out with my business, being location dependent, really fulfilling my life's purpose or something, and like figuring out what I really wanted from life. And pretty much almost at the same time as I launched Planet Backpack, when I was in Bali, a big relationship ended, and that again propelled me into a really important part of my life. And then I had to face a lot of fears when, as I said, the fear of being lonely, for example, was huge after being in a relationship for a few years, I don't know. And just, as I said, being an entrepreneur, it's packed with fears. I mean, you know, not knowing whether it's going to work out, not knowing are you going to have enough money next month, things like that. So once you realize when these fears get really big and you struggle with them, and then I had to look at them. They became so big, I couldn't ignore them anymore, you know, because they made my life really miserable. So yeah, anyway. Yeah, it's getting really philosophical. I read a lot of books. I try to read books that no one else is reading. Not just on purpose, but also, I don't know, I'm really interested to read new things that I haven't heard about, because when everyone is reading the same books or has read the same books, I feel like the concepts, they're all over. So I need to read books where it's the concepts of, like I read mostly non-fiction, I hardly read any fiction, and I need to read about things that really, really fascinate me. And I follow a few writers that, for me, they write in such an amazing and beautiful way that it almost makes me cry. And so I have a few I don't know, people that I look up to and the way they write, and I keep reading them, and a lot of times before I write, I sit down and I read their stuff. I get.
For example?
So there's two. One is Yanni Robinson or something. She writes a lot for the Elephant Journal. Elephant Journal is a big hippie, spiritual, yogi platform online. Rebel Society has a few really good writers as well. Jamie Vernon or something. She writes a lot for the Thought Catalog. So I have a few of these people. And in the end, though, that's what I've noticed the last few months, is really the more I try to just really like almost vomit stuff out verbally, the better it lands with people and the more authentic my writing is. And it's even like, I read my writing and I don't find it good at all. Like literally, I publish and I'm always scared of what's gonna come back. I'm always like, oh my god, I'm always scared, so I usually publish a blog post. A lot of times they're quite long. They're usually, like the last one was more than 4,000 words, I think, a couple of days ago. But yeah, usually I publish and then I shut the laptop and I go somewhere and do something else. And a few hours later I like check the comments and Facebook and everything, and I'm always scared of what comes back because I never know how it lands. I don't think a writer will ever get to a point where they're so confident about their writing that they're 100% sure it's going to land. I don't know. I never know. I don't look at my writing as it's good. Like, I love the feedback that I get, and it's beautiful what you say and how much you like it. It's really hard for it to hit home though, I find, because when you're in it, like when you're in my brain, it doesn't look like that at all. Yeah, try and live in my brain. It's like fun sometimes.
Can you give an example of a personal post? Can you give an example of a personal post? Like you started writing something like 5 tips for backpacking, and now you're writing something personal. But like, how much time do you prep and think about the personal post? Like, what's an example of like a topic that you really dove into?
Let's have a look. So there is what are the last few blog posts that I wrote? They were pretty in depth. So the last one a couple of days ago, what I learned in more than 3 years as a digital nomad. I had so many things to say about this, and I feel like what I write sometimes, I know it doesn't land with many people, and I used to get a lot of hater comments and hater emails. But I delete and I ban people all the time because I'm not having any negativity. I made this promise to myself. I'm not having any negativity or criticism on my blog. If someone doesn't resonate with what I say or what I write, I don't care. This is not freedom of speech. This is my house. This is my home. This is my living room, and I don't need to leave a comment on my website if I don't like it. So if it's stupid, I delete it. I delete it, and I ban a lot of people from Facebook all the time. So that's that. So this makes me be more brave to write about the things that I believe in, and a lot of times I know they might not resonate with people, but I feel like if you don't get any hater emails or hater comments, it means you're doing something wrong. You're too soft, basically. And
so what are you afraid of? Sorry, like when you said like you press, post, and like what is that fear then?
I'm still afraid of hater comments, of course. Oh, they ruin my day still. Yeah. I mean, they get less and less because my message. There was one message in that post where I said, if you have time to criticize other people, if you have time to leave a critical comment or something on another website, you have too much time to not change other people's lives, like literally. If you have time to do that, then I don't know, man. Like, I make it really clear. I tell them over and over again on Facebook and everything, if there's negative comments or whatever, I delete them, I ban people. And I think also with my message and with who I am, and the more authentic and vulnerable I am, I keep attracting more positive people as well that tend to leave more positive comments. But of course, every time I'm still scared of how things resonate, absolutely. Just because every critical comment, because it hurts. Like, there's so much heart in every single blog post these days. It hurts when someone doesn't like what I write. But on the other hand, if everyone agreed with what I say, then that'd be shit too, so it's okay. Another one is Forever in My Heart, 11 places and moments around the world that I will never forget. So that was a big one too, actually, because it made me relive my whole travel career. Oh yeah, this was an open letter to everyone who's not yet living their most amazing life. This was mostly about the victim mentality and people always finding excuses of why they can't do something or why they can't live their most amazing life. A lot of people that felt really offended by this blog post, actually. A lot of them were people with families or with kids, using that as an excuse of why they can't have an amazing life. So I try to get people to take responsibility for whatever they do. If you decided to have a family, then you did not use a condom or whatever. Like, you decided to have a fucking family at one point in your life. I did not. That's just how it is, right? And it's just, everyone needs to take responsibility of whatever they do. And because most people don't, because I still get so many emails from people that are like, oh, Connie, I want to do this, and I want, but all these reasons of why they can't do it. And as much as I tried to empathize with all these people, on that day, I really needed to get a message out, which was take fucking responsibility. So that was a big one. So yeah, I try really to get away from like the factual stuff and let me see.
Sorry to keep asking questions. How does that play into like strategy or SEO, or is it just something not like is that message tied to your core mission, or do you also think, well, how is it going to be related to SEO or overall strategy and content and traffic?
Yeah, that's definitely not SEO stuff right here. This one might probably rank for the word digital nomad or something. These posts, they are mission, they're personal branding, they're getting my message out there. This one is 8.5 reasons why I adore Bali and 5 reasons why you should never go there. That'll rank on Google eventually. This is the anti-packing list, 13 things you need to leave at home. Also, lots of people not resonating with it. One part is like, you should take a vibrator, or I don't know, just, yeah. Like, I also I feel like I have the tendency to talk more about like dating and sex and heartbreak and vibrators and stuff because it's something that hardly any travel blogger talks about. So another thing, it just came up and I was like, maybe I should mention about sex more. Maybe not because sex sells, but just because, I mean, we all kind of think about it, right? So yeah. So I don't know. Yeah, it's Vipassana stuff that'll rank. Vipassana in Thailand, that's gonna be SEO. 3 biggest mistakes that I've done traveling. So I try to alternate, right? So in the beginning, as I started out, a lot of my blog posts were geared towards SEO. And the more me I put into the blog, the more I mixed it up. So, I would have maybe 2 blog posts or 3 blog posts more about my mission and my message, and then 1 or 2 in the middle for SEO purposes. You don't have to publish every post that's for SEO on your blog. Like, I have blog posts that you don't see on my blog. They are literally just there to get people from Google onto my blog. Once they're there, I want to keep them. I want them to subscribe to my newsletter. I want them to follow me on Facebook, things like that. But yeah, that's a strategy that a lot of bloggers use is you would write blog posts that they live in the background, they live on Google, but I wouldn't push them on social media or something. So that exists a lot too. Yeah. Yeah. That. So it needs to be a good mix, yeah, for sure. It would be boring for me to just write for Google, Yeah. But I mean, luckily I already get a lot of Google traffic. I could probably have more if I wasn't writing all these philosophical posts. So yeah, I guess I've done my share of SEO posts maybe, but I'm still, as I told you, like right now, I'm not planning any new projects or new online courses or new books or whatever on the blog. I want to focus on Planet Backpack 100% at the moment, and I want to optimize the website. So I want to, for one, write even better content and write more content again. Generally, it's at least 1 blog post a week. So yeah, maybe a couple of specifics. So at least 1 blog post a week, at best 2. If it's a really awesome week, there might be 3. But that's something I would like to aspire to again, is at least 2 blog posts a week. On Facebook, I publish 3 or 4 times a day. I usually publish at 10 past 10, 10 past 1, 10 past 4, and maybe 10 past 7. Why is it that I post at 10 past? Anyone? Because usually people post stuff at the 4 hour. No. Also for Twitter. So yeah, also when I'm in other countries, it's always good to be in Asia, for example. When you're a few hours ahead, I always schedule my stuff though. So I hardly ever publish something on time. It's always scheduled. Yeah, I use Twitter mostly to network with other people, ask them quick questions rather than sending an email. Instagram, I try to post 1 or 2 a day. I think the two, for me, like I would rather shut down Facebook than Instagram or YouTube. Like I think YouTube and Instagram are gonna be the shit in the next few years. I mean, yeah, Pinterest too, depending what niche, like fashion, interior design, that sort of stuff, Pinterest. For me, Travelblogger, it's mostly Instagram and YouTube. I think Facebook's gonna disappear, I don't know, hopefully in the next 5 or 10 years, but you know, videos is definitely gonna be it, yeah, for sure. And it's fun, yeah, once you get into it.
You pre-schedule your posts, did you say?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And in terms of getting subscribers, like you said, do you put like this, do you have a strategy on putting subscribe buttons like in the way you put them on your site?
Subscribe for my newsletter?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, for example, I try to really get the balance right of not annoying people too much, but still having enough conversions. So I have a gratis email series, a free email series that has 3 parts. It's like, yeah, a guide on how to become location independent, the best places around the world for digital Zen nomads, and the most important key to your success. And so this is a big one here. I generally also always have one in the sidebar. I'm not a fan of pop-ups anymore, so this is here in the sidebar. I also have it underneath. Wait, here. There's another one here to sign up. I think another one that would be okay is the one where you scroll down and then it pops up on the bottom right-hand corner. I know that pop-ups apparently they work really well, and I've experimented with everything there is. It's just a matter of personal preference, I think. So that's how. But you need to have a freebie. You need to really have an incentive for people to sign up. Like you need to give them. I wouldn't even do an ebook anymore, a free ebook. I would always go for an email series. Anyone knows why? Why it's better to go for an email series rather than an ebook? Yeah, exactly. So it's once you, because I had an ebook before, and people would download the ebook, they would never open another email from me again, right? But once they have the email series and they get 3 emails from me, they get awesome content. Every single email is really, really valuable content. But they're already used to opening my emails. So that's another one. And yeah, then they're not just in it for the freebie, they're actually in it to receive stuff from it. So I'll definitely go for this email series.
With after opening emails, you don't get into the junk mail folder.
Yeah.
I have a question. So your audience is women between 30 and 35, but do you also have the actual statistics? Like how is it divided between men and women who read your blog?
The thing is this, there's a difference between who actually reads my blog and who I'm writing for at the moment, because I still get a lot of traffic from Google. So that means I still get a lot of the backpackers that are on their way to their backpacking trip, and because I still have all these old posts that generate traffic through Google, that's still my old audience, right? And my old audience was between 20 and 30 or something, right? Or maybe early 20s to late 20s. So now there's a bit of a disparity, or whatever it's called, separation. That I guess my blog lives in 2 different worlds at the moment, because there's these people that keep coming onto my blog through Google, and then I now serve or write for people. The new blog posts are actually for people who are between, let's say, 30 and 35, who are interested in being a digital nomad, digital Zen nomad as I termed it, and embracing this spirit. I call myself a spiritual freedom junkie and a vegan yogi. So yeah, that's it's not ideal. I thought about shutting the blog down and starting from scratch, and I just couldn't do it. I felt like I don't know. I'm so connected to my readers, and because if anything I would do, it's either 100% or nothing. So I would have actually shut it down. I would have closed everything, and I wasn't prepared to do it yet. That's why I changed the brand. It was a risk. Because now I have the dilemma of having these two worlds that I need to somehow deal with. And yeah, but I'm trying. It's an experiment, as everything, I feel like, yeah.
I think a lot of readers probably grew with you as well.
Yeah, they did, yeah, it's true.
I mean, they were 25 then, you know?
Yeah.
Now they are...
Yeah, maybe in the late 20s now. No, it's true, and a lot of people write and they say, you know, I've been following you for years, I've never written you an email, but now I have to, I started meditation, or I started yoga, or, you know, wrote, I don't know, like it's, and that's really awesome too, actually, yeah, absolutely. Mm. Yeah.
And what was the feedback when you changed your whole blog around,
Mm-hmm.
like 2 months ago? Or did people say like, hey, you can't now forget about all the backpackers, or was it okay?
Feedback, really 99.9% was absolutely amazing and just heartbreakingly beautiful. People absolutely loved it. A lot of people actually wrote me that they couldn't really connect with me with the brand before, with the backpacking brand, and how deeper they can connect with me now, how much more they like coming back to my blog and reading my stuff. And feedback has been really, really amazing. Like I had a relaunch, I had a proper relaunch, and I wrote a blog post about the reasons of why I changed the brand and what's happened and what's new. And there's so many comments below it, like I was crying half the day when I relaunched it just because it was so beautiful. And it keeps, still people keep writing me and they tell me they really like it. There was one guy who wrote me an email saying that this is all bullshit and he will never come back to read my blog or something, but I think it was something, I don't know, something wasn't quite right with it. Yeah, it was a risk, but in the end I believed in it so much, and that I never doubt, like, yeah, it felt amazing, and I also said that after the relaunch, I felt so liberated when I relaunched it, because I felt like people could actually see the real me. Before, it wasn't like, it really, like the year before, even longer, it actually wasn't me anymore. I wasn't a backpacker anymore. I wasn't staying, I tend to generally stay in Airbnb places. I tend to pay a lot of extra money for flights because I book last minute. Like, I'm not budget anymore. And I didn't live the lifestyle of a backpacker anymore. You know, I wasn't going from A to B. I wasn't traveling with a Lonely Planet. So the blog didn't feel like me anymore. And so once I put my new brand out there with the video and the new photos and my new about page and everything, it just felt like finally people can see me and actually see who I really am and who I've developed into. And that was really liberating and awesome. And to then have the feedback from people to tell me that they like it, that was really good. So sometimes you just gotta experiment and take risks, and sometimes, I don't know, I guess maybe I've just been really lucky, like things have been going really well. There have not been any crazy hiccups in terms of where I've failed maybe with the blog, or I don't know, I mean, there have been times where maybe, I don't know, in the beginning, you know, when I had clients and sometimes 2 clients would cancel on the same day or something, their contract, and I'd be like, shit, how am I gonna make money? But generally things have been going really smoothly, and I don't know, I feel really, really lucky, but I think, Ale, we did a little interview just before, and you asked me what the key to my success was or something like that.
The elements, yeah. I also wanted to ask you why it was so important, why it is important to spread the knowledge about it.
Oh, right, yeah. But I'll try to remember one thing that, so you asked me like what was the thing that, the element to my success and everything. And I think from the beginning I wasn't necessarily, I wanted to make €1,000, yeah? That was basically it. In terms of money, that was it. And I always looked at entrepreneurs as like as bad people, you know? I never thought I was ever going to become an entrepreneur or run my own business. I had no intention whatsoever until the day that I saw that to be a digital nomad, you're going to have your own business. I was like, shit. So that means I'm going to have to go to the dark side. And so I was never drawn I was never drawn by money. I was always pushed by helping people, always. And that has been my number one priority. I always wanted to help people. I always wanted to solve a problem for them. And for some reason, that has always worked out, and I always gave just more than my best, and just it always really came from the heart, and I think that's another thing that worked out. If I was ever gonna say one, like the key to my success, then I think that's it. Yeah. And what was the other question?
No, it was just why you. It's also
why?
Why you think it's important to spread this knowledge to have.
It's a good question.
It's meaningful now.
Yeah, but I have some people say to me, or have said to me in the past, Connie, don't you think you're some sort of missionary to go out there and try to convince people to become a digital nomad, and like to sort of turn it into a better light, like as if I was a missionary, like the people spreading religion, And I'd say, I'm not a missionary, but I am on a mission to reach the people that are open to my message. And I always say, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. Meaning, if the people are ready for how they want to change their lives, and if I can help them with that, then I will appear on their stage, it's really just about giving them, inspiring them on a path that they're already open for. I don't want to sell this lifestyle to someone who's happy in their 9 to 5. Like, please, stay in your 9 to 5, be happy, buy a house, have your family, get a car, get a big flat screen, go for it, eat a lot of meat and things like that, perfect. I'm also not here to spread the vegan, I love not eating meat, but I'm not going to convince everyone about it. It's really just about people that are open. It's about having an open exchange, and it feels good also sometimes to get emails where people tell you that you help them, things like that. Yeah, that keeps me going, for sure. Okay, is that it? You guys had enough? Cool. I will probably write another ebook this year, but something small. I feel like my blog posts are getting too long. Maybe I should, maybe I should just write a little ebook or two, but nothing major. Yeah. Thank you so much for coming, guys. See you later.